and welcome to number 29 of Travels Around My Bedroom. So last time I finished on sharing with you a song from Michel Sardou, Le Lac du Connemara, about Ireland. So I thought that it would be really, really nice to actually speak and continue on the theme of Ireland. So let me put that here just to make sure. Yeah, that's great. It's here. And by the way, that is why I am wearing all green today to honor the Irish. So I went to Dublin a couple of times with some students, but the trip that really marked me when it comes to Ireland was 2 years ago when I went there as a job. I worked with the Ministry of Tourism and with two other lady consultants. It was an all-women team, which is the reason why I wanted to do this job. It was really, really great. And we had to travel around the region and see what we could do to increase tourism there, because it's actually a region where not a few people are going. So if you are looking for a place that is really special and different and has an amazing, I would say, personality, because every destination has a personality, I would advise you to go there. So this is a place which was called the Three Heads. But if you look around, so sorry, actually my printer is really bad because I'm running out of ink, but we're soon being deconfined, so that would be great. But if you basically imagine a map of Ireland in front of you, and you go to the left bottom, and you imagine that this is the place that is the closest actually to the United States. Yes, that's where we are. So we are really at the tip there, and we went to several little places here which are called Kenmare. Then we had Bantry, then we had Durus, we had Skull, and we had Ballydehob. So I loved it because I got the privilege of meeting so many people in communities and speaking to them about their region, about their heritage, and what they thought made their destination really special. So I loved Ballydehob because, and this is what's really weird about it, it starts with Bali, like Bali in Indonesia, and actually when you get to Ballydehob, it feels like you are in Bali, because, or at least in Ubud in Bali, where I used to live, because it's such a spiritual destination. You have a lot of artists, and the great thing about that area, it's because it used to be a place with a massive port. They've had a lot of foreigners coming from all over the world and settling in that area. They also have a very specific microclimate, which means that there are things like palm trees and bamboos that grow there. And you wouldn't really imagine that of Ireland. So Ballydehob was such a surprise because, you also have a Buddhist center, they do yoga, and yeah, it was really great. But the thing that I also realized is that everyone in that region was highly spiritual. And even, when I was talking to the farmers, it's because the elements there are so powerful, the wind and the water and the weather, that you always know your place in the universe. You don't mess with nature. And that means, when you have that connection with nature and you know your place, you then are, regardless of your religion, you're so much more likely to be able to connect to nature and to the people that are around you and the elements that are around you in a very humble way. And everyone whom I met was really and truly humble. And that was very, very touching. The one thing I have to say, and I've traveled a fair amount. I've seen 1/3 of the world, I think, by now. And then, you go places and you feel, you feel that you're very welcomed. And Bali is like this. Ghana is like that. Benin as well. But there, this is another world. This is a completely different league. You cannot spend 30 seconds on your own. There is always someone that's going to come and speak to you. Everyone is going to greet you. I went to the pub in that little village and I danced with every single old guy in that pub. I gave them a ball. I mean, I had a ball as well. And I sang with them. Oh my God, I had forgotten. We went to this place, this pub, which is absolutely amazing. It's like a pub after a pub. So you enter, it's like a secret pub. And so you get in and there is no one in that pub. And you're like, what? Why am I here? And there is a door and you think you're going to the toilets, but you're not going to the toilets. You pass the toilets and then there is another door. And there they are. They are singing and it's the most amazing thing. You sing from one person to another. It goes around and you sit and you're invited to sing. So I did some singing for them and I made them laugh as well. I have this very funny version of Mercedes-Benz that I do with a very sexy French accent. And I sang that as well at the pub with the old guys. So, and we did a little bit of drinking, which was brilliant. But I absolutely love that. So you can find these amazing places, that you think don't exist anymore, but you can only have access to them upon invitation. And that is what I love, because I think that every single culture has to keep things that are secret to them, that they share only amongst them. And then if you're invited into that circle, then it's an amazing thing to have. We all speak about having authentic and unique experiences. Well, that's what's authentic and unique. It's when you are invited into a people, into a tribe, I would say. Yes, into a village. And several things happened to really make me feel like this. So amazing people, amazing drinking. As part of the work that I was doing, carrying a few workshops with people, I met this amazing guy who was actually so dubious about what I was trying to do with them. But we opened up because we both found out that we loved textile. So this is a guy who trains the coaches of Olympic teams in table tennis. I didn't even know that people like that existed. And he was born into a family of, I think, 6 boys, and his mother was dying to get a girl. So when he was born, she said, you're going to be the girl. And what she meant by that is that I'm going to teach you the art of embroidery. So she gave him a piece of cloth, and every time he learned a new stitch, he would do it on that piece, yes? And then he started as he grew up, and I met him when he was in his mid-40s. He would embroider an event of his life, and this piece became a patchwork, I would say, on an embroidery piece of his life. Now, can you imagine that? And someone then said, why don't you make a skirt out of it? Which he did. And he brought me the skirt. And I got to wear that skirt only for an hour. And what's amazing, called that synchronicity. But that skirt has got this blue turquoise in there. And I was wearing a blue turquoise necklace that day and pink boots. Just perfect to go with the skirt. So he's got coins from his wedding, the birth of his children are embroidered in there, his travels around the world, which I find absolutely stunning. And the other thing that I loved, of course, is something that I dreamed of in my entire life, is this, an Irish jumper, because the quality of the wool is truly amazing. And I just love the color. So it's the most expensive jumper that I own, and it will last me until I die. But it's an amazing, amazing jumper. I love the neck, and I love the fact that it goes long at the back as well. So it's a really lovely and soft, and I love to wear it first thing in the morning if I don't have any heating in my room, and I get into it and I'm like, this is all nice. But I wanted to finish with sharing another story that really, well, when I think of the men that I want to tell you about, whom I met, my heart just is filled with love and admiration. Because of a law in Europe that stops men from drink driving, obviously that's a good thing. But the impact of that is that a lot of men in rural area have become very secluded and very separated. So they can't no longer go to the pub, especially if they are very old. So I met a group of men in a village. We were talking about developing a route around their village because all the shops have closed, all the young people have gone out to the city, they're seeing their village died, and we were looking at solutions to what we can do to revive and get some money and some tourists in. And I didn't know all this thing about these men being alone, these older gentlemen being alone and killing themselves because they are so lonely. The same thing that has happened actually with Corona. It was very, very sad to see so many older people being separated from their families. And what these older men, these elderly gentlemen are doing for other elderly gentlemen and women is bringing them food, organizing clubs, and they call that the men's shed. Actually, it's predominantly for men. And I was so taken by their kindness and what they were doing for their community that I thought it would be so nice to be able to rent them as grandfathers, because there are so many children who don't have granddads anymore. So I don't know where that idea went and if it was ever applied, because when you're a consultant, you come in and you get out. But I wanted to share this because it was such a beautiful thing. And I really wanted to actually finish this by asking you whether you'd ever met on your travels or had ever taken an experience or had been somewhere where you met people from the community who were dedicated to their community and were doing good by their community. So we're running a community project and that really touched your heart. And I think it would be really nice if we share that so that we can see what beauty is being created out in the world. So thank you very much and goodbye from Ireland today. Bye-bye.